Hey Scorpio, it's Jen here from tarotspirit.net. I'm here for your May 2016 monthly tarot reading. Thanks so much for joining me. So I'm going to use, I'm really, I don't know, I'm just, because it's spring here in Vermont, kind of. It's been snowing, it's April, but it didn't snow all winter and now it's snowing in April, so that's typical Vermont. But I'm really, I can't wait to get outside and garden, so I picked 3 of my very earthy decks. I'm just feeling like we all need to get grounded and get outside and such. So I'm shuffling on camera. People really want me to shuffle on camera. I'm shuffling back here. You just have to trust me. I think it wastes time, but you guys can just skip ahead and see where I have all the cards laid out if you don't want to listen to me babble and watch me shuffle. Nice. So I have the Greenwich Tarot, Greenwich Tarot, the Wildwood Tarot, and the Druidcraft. I think not 100% sure, but I think maybe the people who do the Wildwood Tarot also do the Druidcraft. Let's see, so we have the 5 of Swords, Queen of Cups, and the Fool, or the Green Man it's called, in the Greenwich Tarot. Then we have the 4 of Cups, the Knight of Swords, and the Tower in the Wildwood. And let's see what the Druidcraft has. Knight of Wands, nice. Whoops. The Lovers. Jeez. And the High Priestess. And the Page of Wands. Okay, so let's look. I'm going to just keep the bottom. I'm going to just keep the bottom card and get rid of the rest of the deck because it's too thick. All right, Scorpio. I thought I lit this. All right. I guess we're only going to have one candle. So let's see, May 2016. Well, I just need to look for a second. So it's interesting. I don't really have a particular way I'm reading this, but if we sort of look at it as a progression, we're ending with 4 major arcanas. We have the Lovers, the Fool, the Tower, and the High Priestess. That's pretty interesting. Since Scorpio, you guys are pretty sexy. You're pretty sexual. You're known for that. I do have to say, for a few of you, this is just a few of you, because I'm not saying something all Scorpios would do, but I do feel like there's going to be we have what I call the honeymoon card. This is just the passion card. You meet someone and it's just like you instantly feel attracted to them. So I do feel like for some of you, there's going to sort of be lust at first sight, and potentially the person could be involved with someone else, and I say that because of the High Priestess is out, and she points to something hidden or just listening to her intuition or subconscious. But I've come to learn that when she comes out, there's usually a secret that needs to come, or doesn't need to come out. There's something sort of behind the scenes going on. You probably have an inkling, or you know about it, or you find out about it. And that's here with the tower too. So it's kind of like, you know, you you have this. Well, okay, so let's start at the beginning. So we have the Five of Swords here, and this to me is a card of compromise. And so it's kind of not, and so often when people compromise, I think there's a saying, I always group sayings, but it's something like, when you're making, the gist of it is that, if you're trying to sell a car, for example, neither the buyer or the seller should walk away feeling like they just like nailed the deal and got everything they want, because most likely that means it wasn't a fair deal. Each party should walk away feeling okay about it, but not feeling like they got everything they wanted. Um, so this card can be a situation where one person is walking away, thinking they scored and got everything, but it's really is a card to make you think about compromise and how you sort of work with people, um, and often, we find when we really look at the end goal, we are on the same side. There isn't necessarily a line in the sand, or if there is, we're all on the same side, going towards a common end goal. So, but I sort of feel like it's here next to the Four of Cups, and it's interesting, and it's has keywords, which is boredom, which is a great keyword for this card. It's boredom. It's sort of depression. It's just blah. It's like you've lost your spark. Maybe you've been in a relationship where you've had to compromise too much. It could be at work, could be a romantic relationship, and or maybe the other person always has to get their way or something like that, and you're just like, this just isn't doing it for me anymore, and you're just not really um sure what to do. Boredom's interesting because boredom is a little different than like feeling depressed, which is the way I usually read this card. Boredom's more like you don't know how to entertain yourself or something, or you're not, that's kind of how I look at it. Like with my child, it's like, I'm bored. It's like, well, figure out something to do. Well, I think what may be what may be happening, and it may have nothing to do with a third party. I think something's going to come along and get you out of your boredom and sort of light your fire. And it's this is a knight. The prince is a knight in this deck. So the Knight of Wands, he comes in and he's passionate and sexual and exciting and gets you really fired up. So something is going to come along with these sort of not so fun cards and get your emotions going. So we have the Queen of Cups. And you're going to start to, feel things again and want to feel things again. But it's interesting because right smack in the middle of the reading is this Knight of Swords, of arrows in this deck, Knight of Swords. And he's a hawk. So you're not, and you are the Queen of Cups. Scorpio is the Queen of Cups. So there's a change in your thinking, and you had the Five of Swords, so you were thinking sort of, your thinking was sort of, you weren't feeling so great about things over here, and it was affecting your emotions in a negative way. And then this new energy comes in. You start to feel a little bit more like yourself, and you change your thinking, and you're like, why not? Why not go with it? Why not go with that passion? Why not make a choice? Um, so it's very much, the Lovers is often about choice and marrying the head and the heart. And I mean, you have the heart, the emotions, and the head very much represented in these two cards. So although this is a fast moving, passionate energy with the Knight of Wands, I think you were sort of waiting for it and ready for it. And so some of you may have some very passionate moments this month, where you may discover a passion. And it's going to be so strong that you're going to really take a leap of faith and go for it. And really, I don't know, if maybe you just leave someone and go into this new relationship because it was finally the push you needed to get out of it, or you've been alone and stuck in your life, that going back to the boredom card, and you just sort of surprise people because you just sort of like, why the hell not? And you just sort of throw yourself in this new relationship, job, activity, whatever this is that's coming in and firing you up and stirring your passions. And so I don't see this, for a small percentage of you, this is going to cause some upheaval if, say, you're already in a relationship or something. But I think what this really is showing, this Tower card, is showing that you are just shaking up your life completely. Like, you are just sick of the way things have been going, and you're just, this choice you're making and this going with your passions and what you want, and the Fool card, you're really going to shake things up. And not everyone in your, when people make seemingly drastic changes, people around you cannot really excuse me, don't necessarily support it, because people like to keep other people in boxes. And okay, so Susie's that way and Bob's that way, and what the hell's going on with Susie? You had her in a category, in a box, and now someone has you that way, whether it's your partner, your spouse, people at work, your family, yourself, and you're breaking out of that, and it's shaking things up. It's really going to shake things up, and you're really going to find out who your core people are and who you are, really. And I think, you're really going to need to trust your intuition. I think you're going to really, this is often your subconscious, your intuition, like all those little, maybe little things that were sort of just touching on the edge of your thoughts or your feelings, that you kind of just ignored and said, oh no, and just didn't really pay attention to. Now you're really going to listen to them and really step into them and realize that they are the true you. It's almost like, and this has been a theme too in these readings, it's kind of like, this is sort of like a big life change for people. I don't know if something like big's going to happen in the world that's really going to make people think, what the hell am I doing? Life is short, and I need to live it the way I want to live it. But all those subconscious underlying things are really going to come to the surface, I think, throughout this month, and you're going to embrace them and change your life. Over here we have at the bottom of the deck, and this is going to seem passionate and sort of crazy to other people, but you have the King of Swords. This is something that on some level you've been planning or wanting for a long time. Again, Ace of Swords. It's like clarity of thought, like something becomes so crystal clear to you. Just and you just can't ignore it anymore, and you just become so focused on moving forward in the way you want. What's that? Breath of life. Yeah, look at that. I love that. The breath of life. Like you just start living again. And I mean, the Page of Wands, another, new beginnings and passion and things that you're motivated about. It's like living. You're going to start living again. You're going to find a spark for life again. And no more of this. No more boredom. No more feeling like you're compromising how you're living your life. You're really gonna shake it up. You're gonna shake your own life up, and there will be some outside influences, I think, that are a catalyst, but it's something that's been brewing within you forever, potentially, that you're finally going to release and embrace and move forward with. So hey, have fun, Scorpio. Looks like a good time. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you at the next reading. Take care. Bye.